Ladies and mostly gentlemen, today we're going to talk about covenants and more specifically swapping to and from covenants in the Shadowlands expansion and the entire process from beginning to end on how to do so. But before we get into that, guys, I just want to thank the sponsor of this video, and that is my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to check me out streaming Shadowlands every single day, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM. Right, so covenant swapping. This has been a hot topic of Shadowlands ever since it was announced back at BlizzCon, and we're going to go through every single detail of covenant swapping in this video. I've been doing pretty intense testing over on the stream, so I've got, quite a lot of information to kind of dump on you guys to tell you exactly how this works, how easy it is, and what's going to happen when you do actually swap those covenants. So, first and foremost, let's talk about swapping from one covenant to another. So let's say a scenario is that you chose a covenant and you were like, you know what, I don't like the vibe of the Necrolords, I think they suck, and I want to be a Kyrian. So let's watch in real time how long it takes to swap from Necrolord to Kyrian. So as you can see, a straight swap from one covenant to another is extremely simple, and that's only if you haven't joined that covenant before. Now, let's say you're not happy in that covenant and you actually want to go back to the one you were in previously. Now this is where it gets a little bit hairy, and this is where the controversy starts. So instead of instantly swapping you back to that covenant, you are given a quest instead. Now this quest is called Prove Your Worth, and essentially what it is, it's a fill the bar quest. Now obviously depending on the covenant, depends on the zone that you need to do the activities in. Now you can fill this bar by a number of activities, and it goes up pretty quickly. It's not the end of the world, this quest is actually pretty easy to do. So let's go through some of the activities you can do to fill this bar. So firstly, you can actually do the dungeons of that zone. So if it's Bastion, for example, you could do the Necrotic Wake and Spires of Ascension and get the percentage up that way. Now, per my research, it's 12% per normal boss and 12% for heroic boss. I presume it's 12% across the board on Mythic and Mythic Plus as well. So essentially, if you want to fill the bar, you can pretty much just do 2 dungeons and you're done. You can also do world quests. World quests give you 8% per world quest, or you can go around opening chests, which also give you 8%, or you can go around and kill rares in that zone, which gives you a 6% increase on the bar. So the activities you can do again are dungeons, world quests, chests, and rares in the corresponding zone of the covenant you want to rejoin. So Kyrian would be Bastion, Necrolord would be Maldraxxus, Night Fae would be Ardenweald, and the Venthyr would be Revendreth. So once you've completed that quest, you go back to Oribos and hand it back in, and then nothing. Nothing until the weekly reset. When the reset happens, you have another quest, and this is called Rebuild Our Trust. Now the thing is with Rebuild Our Trust is that it's the exact same quest as Prove Your Worth. It's the exact same fill the bar, the exact same requirements from dungeons and world quests and chests and rares, and that's it. Once you've completed that quest, you can now rejoin the Covenant. So essentially it takes one reset to swap back to a Covenant that you were in previously. Now you could obviously cheese the system here by doing the Prove Your Worth on a Monday, then the reset happens on a Tuesday, and then Rebuild Our Trust pops up on Tuesday and you rejoin in the Tuesday. So you can really rejoin a Covenant in less than 24 hours if you planned it correctly. So that's essentially the system for swapping to Covenants and back to Covenants. Now the most important question here is what stays, what goes, what are you losing by doing this, and can you keep all the transmogs and mounts? So, transmogs and mounts, let's talk about that. That's one of the questions I get the most, and they don't go away. So say for example with the Kyrian, you do all of your Kyrian activities, you do the entire campaign, you get the mounts, you get the transmog, you keep that in your collection. However, if you move to the Venthyr, you can't use those mounts or transmogs. They are still saved, you don't lose them, but you can't use them if you're in a different covenant, which makes sense, obviously. Why would you want to wear the entire Kyrian set when you're with the Venthyr? It doesn't make sense thematically, it doesn't make sense in the lore. However, if you have another character which is Kyrian and the same armor type, you can use the mounts, you can use the transmogs, even if that character hasn't unlocked them. The interesting thing here is during the campaign, the cosmetic items aren't actually cosmetic, they're actually items with item levels and stats and everything like that. And you actually keep these items when you swap covenants. So in theory, if you really do want to look like a Kyrian character in the Venthyr, you could just keep those items on you, keep them in your thing, and not transmog them. So that's essentially how you would do that. Actually, that would be for RP reasons. Those items aren't really that competitive with normal items, but if you're really desperate to wear all of those items for one covenant and wear them in another, that is actually something that is possible, just not through the transmog system. Now for me, the easiest way to explain how everything stays when you swap covenants is to describe it as a bubble. Every covenant is a bubble. Now inside this bubble you have anima, you have your renown, you have your campaign progression, and you have your soulbinds. Now all of this stays in a bubble. So let's say you're in the Kyrian and you create this bubble with like 2000 anima, 14 renown, you know, you've done a bit of the campaign and you've done some soulbind unlocking, that all stays. So say you move to the Venthyr, it's a clean slate. The Venthyr have nothing, you would have to get all your anima again, you'd have to level up your renown, do the campaign, obviously the campaign would be different, and unlock soulbinds. Now the conduits do stay. Conduits, if you've unlocked those, they stay no matter what covenant you're in. Obviously the ones that do actually affect the covenant ability will have to be unlocked through a different covenant. Now what's good about the way that this works is if you do swap back to that original Kyrian covenant, you get all of your anima again, you get all of that renown you unlocked, you get all of that progression, you get all of the transmogs and mounts that you've unlocked, so nothing really goes away. And I think that's what's important to note. Nothing goes away. So if you are a completionist, and you know, later on in the expansion, if you want to unlock 40 renown for the Venthyr, then go to the Kyrian and unlock all of your renown, all of your campaign. You could do that without any worries of the progress being removed, which I think is really great actually. You know, you do work hard on getting this stuff, and I'm happy that it doesn't actually get removed when you change covenant. Now one level of progression that is actually unlocked through your covenant is the Maw. Recently they have changed it so the Maw progression is actually separate from your covenants, so all of your Maw progression doesn't move or do anything different when you change covenants. So that's good. That's a completely different progression system that is unaffected by you changing covenants. So it's just covenant specific things which do reset when you move covenants. So that's basically it. Hopefully I explained it okay. There is a lot to take in there and a lot of words and systems that you might not fully understand yet because the expansion has not released, but hopefully if you're watching this a little bit down the line, it makes a lot more sense to you. The TLDR, I guess, is that everything that you do with that covenant stays. It's not going to be removed. You don't need to worry too much about that. It's fine as it is. I mean, the swapping back is obviously, you know, it's a little bit annoying, but as I said, you can do that within 24 hours if you really want to game the system. I guess one extra thing to note just to cap this off is when you're doing Prove Your Worth and Rebuild Our Trust, you're not in the new covenant. You're still in your previous covenant. So all of your abilities, all of your soulbinds, all of that stuff is still of the previous covenant. It's not until you complete Rebuild Our Trust that you actually swap over the abilities again and your soulbinds and all of that stuff. So keep that in mind if you want to do that. So whatever covenant you're kind of doing these quests in, you still have to deal with the abilities of the previous covenant. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think of the system. Let me know if I explained it okay. As I said, I really do hope I did. If there's any questions, guys, just drop them in the comments. I'll try and answer as many as I can. But before I go, guys, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs. You guys are awesome, and if you'd like to support the channel in any of those ways, links are down below. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. I've also got a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members, and if you want to check me out streaming Shadowlands every single day, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM. We've been having a lot of fun with Shadowlands. It's going to be a fun expansion, I hope, so if you want to check me out, guys, twitch.tv/MrGM. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.